The Emerald Pandemic, as it was called, was in full swing now. Children all below the age of puberty were being afflicted with something that was causing extreme acts of violence and then death. All would commit atrocities before refusing to eat or sustain themselves. We didn't know what the cause was, whether it was some form of virus or bacteria, but we did know two things. One, the children all began to show bright green, almost emerald eyes shortly before they committed their violence. And two, only children before puberty were being affected. Many governments put into place measures to curb the problem. China would simply round up the children that fit the criteria, gassing them and killing them before the problem could happen. More democratic states struggled with passing legalization as evangelicals and science deniers continued to put out the propaganda that this was simply hysteria, that there was no proof of this. Within a year, millions of children around the world were dead, from either the government, their own parents' hands. Some committed suicide out of fear, but many would succumb to the Emerald Pandemic. Within 2 years, almost all countries had made any form of pregnancy a regulated industry. Children were born and were being kept alone to monitor and study. Any family that tried to go against this was typically killed, as the pandemic itself started to slow to a crawl, only popping up in isolated instances across the world. Children were feared until they reached the age of puberty, where they were slowly accepted back into society. Over a decade, these new steps seemed to work. They seemed to bring about a new normal, but a good change nonetheless. At least that's what we thought. Today we are getting reports of a new trend, quickly growing as teenagers begin to experience the same symptoms as the young children had all those years ago. With stronger bodies than before, more intelligence with their age, the new group is not succumbing to the affliction like the Emerald generation was. They are committing their violence in great numbers and thriving. We almost didn't catch it. We didn't see the changes this time round. What was once a bright emerald was now the cool blue of sapphire, and a new pandemic was born. Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I would just like to say a few things before it ends. I'd just like to say thank you to all of the authors that have given me permission to narrate these stories. Without them, this wouldn't be a thing. If anyone listening has a story they would like narrated, you can contact me through different ways that will be in the description. I would also like to say a massive thank you to all of the people listening, and to those that have supported me so far. Without you, I probably would have given up on episode 1. So far, throughout all of the platforms that NightmareFuel is available on, we have reached almost 300 views and listens altogether. Some people may think it's not a lot, but to me it is way more than I expected to get this far in. So thank you everyone, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow the socials. On the YouTube video, I will put all the links to all the available platforms that the podcast is on, and all the socials you can contact me on in the description. With all that said, thank you. Have a good night.